This is the last major British show before Fight Camp kicks off. It starts the week after Joyce Takam. What do you make of the whole Fight Camp concept? It's the second year they've done it. And do you feel any sort of challenge from them in terms of going just the week before?
No, not at all. We've had our date in for a while, and they've got their dates, they've got their concept. They did it last year because obviously the situation with COVID, and they feel they're doing it again. I think it works. At the end of the day, you're not watching Fight Camp, you're watching fighters. You're not watching Wembley, you're watching the fighters who fight at Wembley. And that's what matters. It's the fights that you're putting on. We've got a good card on. I'm not sure who they've got on their card, but I'm sure there's some decent fights there, and they just get on with it and do their business. And we've got a really good show lined up, which we've announced for August ourselves, which is a cracker.
With that in mind, that people go to watch the fighters rather than the event itself, do you think £750 per ticket is too much for Fight Camp?
Not if people pay it. If they pay it, there's a market for it. You know, it's not my. It's their. That's how they want to run their business. That's their business. You know, they feel that concept works. They feel there's a market there for people paying £750. Who am I to argue about it? You know, that's what they'll do.
Is it ever something you'd explore? Not necessarily the Fight Camp model, but a different type of show for a more affluent audience?
Well, we do that. We've done that over the years with the dinner shows that we put on. You know, I've been doing that. They're nothing unusual. I mean, before I got into boxing, they were doing those shows. You know, Jim Watt and Ken Buchanan was a dinner show. Yeah. You know, those two guys, everybody talks about that fight and the reverence of that fight. That was on a dinner show up in Scotland.
I've been to a few dinner shows up in Scotland myself.
But, you know, when those shows were going, and, you know, we do a couple, we still do them, you know, there is a market for it, and it is what it is. People want companies, or people want a good night, a different type of night out, enjoy a meal and a drink while they're watching the fights. That's their bag. Then they can pay for it, and they want to pay for it. Good luck to them.
Do you think having it kind of in that Fight Camp environment adds anything extra to the TV product?
I don't know, really. I mean, you know, it is what it is. You know, there's as I say, you can dress all these fights up. You know, look, I have to stand like the old Gitter game. But when I started out in boxing, there was no music with fighters going to the ring. There's, you know, for the main event, might have a fanfare. That was it. You start bringing music in, you start bringing in lights and doing that. We've done all that stuff to start with, and it is what it is. You just dress up. But at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what's going on in the ring. You can do all that stuff, you know. I mean, the music, getting people singing along. I mean, we were doing all that Sweet Caroline stuff, 35 years ago. I mean, it's nothing new. We were doing all these things, but it's what takes place in the ring, because that is what people want to see.
So with that being said, you know what the lineups are for their Fight Camp shows?
I don't know that.
Oh, you haven't seen any of it?
I was told, but I'm not being disrespectful. I just can't remember who it is. I mean,
I was going to say, did any of them catch your eye?
Ben's on one of them, isn't he?
He's headlining the first one, yeah. I was just going to say, did any of the fights catch your eye? But apparently not.
Well, that's not. I'm not being disrespectful in saying that. I just didn't. You know, I haven't really noticed it. I didn't even know he's fighting Conor Ben. I know he's fighting
Adrian Granados, who's based in America. He's fought like Adrian Broner and Danny Garcia and people like that. Fair enough. Let's talk about